Some dogs bark when they're in pain. Others go silent and disappear behind their eyes. You don't hear a whimper. You don't see a limp. You just notice something's off. He doesn't meet your gaze like before, doesn't run to the food bowl, sleeps more, moves less. And you tell yourself maybe he's just getting old. But deep down you feel it, the shift, the distance, like he's trying to say something without making a sound. If your dog's been your shadow, your silent companion through long winters and quiet rooms, then you already know he won't complain. He'll just endure. But not anymore. In the next few minutes, I'll show you 9 subtle signs your dog might be suffering in silence, backed by science, missed by most, but not by you. Not after today. Let's start with the one most people overlook first, the food bowl. It's not just a skipped meal. It's a message. One that too many of us overlook. Your dog used to charge toward his bowl like a kid running for ice cream, tail wagging, eyes bright, that unshakable excitement only food could bring. Now he sniffs it, turns away, or eats slow, distracted, as if chewing takes effort. You tell yourself maybe he's just picky or tired of the same food. But dogs don't change eating habits for no reason. When the bowl loses its joy, something deeper is happening. Loss of appetite can point to hidden pain, dental issues, joint inflammation, digestive trouble, even depression. But here's the twist. Sometimes it's the opposite. Some dogs eat more fast and frantic, trying to fill an emptiness that has nothing to do with hunger. In a 2024 Frontiers in Veterinary Science study, altered eating patterns ranked among the top behavioral signs of chronic pain. The bowl, it turns out, is a mirror. Watch it closely, and you'll see what words could never say. So, next time he hesitates before dinner, don't just change the brand, pay attention. Because behind that untouched meal could be the first whisper of something much bigger. And what comes after hunger fades is even quieter, not about food, but about connection. It's when the space between you and him starts to grow. Number 2. Isolation and loss of interest. He used to be there right behind you. Every room you entered, every time you stood up, he was already 2 steps ahead. Now he stays put, watches from his bed, doesn't get up when you walk by. You tell yourself he's just resting. Maybe the house is too quiet. Maybe you're imagining it. But withdrawal isn't nothing. For a dog, staying close is instinct. It's how they show love, loyalty, trust. When that fades, it's not about mood. It's about discomfort, the kind that makes movement feel costly. When a dog starts pulling away, especially from the person they're closest to, it's not detachment. It's survival. A recent study from Frontiers in Veterinary Science connected social withdrawal to both physical pain and emotional distress in dogs. That space he's creating between you, that's a wall not because he wants it, but because he needs it to cope. And the hardest part, he thinks he's protecting you by staying silent. If your dog starts skipping routines, not following you to the kitchen, not greeting you at the door, don't chalk it up to age. Chalk it up to a red flag. Because when a dog begins to disconnect from his person, it's rarely without reason. And if you think silence is subtle, wait until you see what happens when sleep becomes the battlefield. That's what's coming next. And it creeps in slow under blankets in the middle of the night. Number 3. Sleep disturbances. It starts small. He changes where he sleeps. Then how long. Then how often he gets up in the middle of the night, shifting, pacing, sighing. You notice, but you don't think much of it. Maybe the bed's too warm. Maybe he's dreaming. But restlessness isn't random. Dogs are creatures of rhythm. When that rhythm breaks, especially at night, it means the body is unsettled. Pain doesn't always scream in the daylight. Sometimes it waits for the dark when the world is quiet, and your dog can't distract himself with your presence. Sleep becomes fragmented. He can't find a position that feels right. He changes sides. He groans getting up. Or he sleeps too much, almost like he's shutting down between moments of discomfort. A study in Frontiers in Veterinary Science found disrupted sleep was one of the earliest behavioral indicators in dogs with undiagnosed pain. It's not laziness. It's not just age. It's exhaustion not from play but from bearing something he can't explain. And if your dog, who once slept like a stone by your feet, now seems uneasy through the night, don't ignore it. Pain doesn't always howl. Sometimes it just rustles the blankets. But not all pain is visible in movement. Some of it spirals inward in patterns that repeat again and again like a dog chasing a circle he can't escape. That's where we're going next, and it's not what most people think. Number 4. Compulsive behaviors. It looks harmless at first, just a little licking, a bit of paw chewing, maybe some pacing around the room. You laugh it off quirky habits, you think, but then it happens again, and again, and again. What you're seeing isn't personality. It's pain looking for a way out. Dogs don't bite their own feet for fun. They don't spin in circles for entertainment. These behaviors are coping mechanisms. When dogs don't have words, they repeat actions, over and over. Not because they're silly, but because their brain is trying to outrun something their body can't. Some dogs lick until the fur disappears. Some chase their tail like they're trying to escape their own skin. In a clinical review published by veterinary behavior journal Compulsive Actions, were found to be common in dogs with undiagnosed chronic discomfort, especially those left alone with it. And here's the part that hits hard: the longer it goes on, the more damage they do to themselves. So if your dog keeps licking one spot, or if he's acting off in loops, take note. Don't correct him. Don't distract him. Ask why. Because sometimes pain doesn't limp or cry, it spins in silence. And while loops repeat, eyes don't lie. What comes next hides not in action, but in the stillness of a gaze that doesn't sparkle like it used to. Number 5. Altered expression and gaze. There's a look your dog gives you, the kind that says everything without saying a word. It used to be full of life, bright open alert. Now it lingers, heavy, distant, almost like he's looking through you instead of at you. That change isn't in your head. Dogs speak with their eyes. It's how they show joy, comfort, pain, and trust. When that expression fades, when the ears droop, the brow tightens, the spark in their gaze goes dim, it's not just tired eyes. It's a sign their body is carrying something their mouth can't explain. In a 2023 study published in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior, researchers found that dogs experiencing pain often showed measurable changes in facial tension and eye engagement even before other symptoms appeared. One vet put it this way: when the light leaves a dog's eyes, it's time to look closer. The truth is, many dogs try to stay brave. They won't whine. They won't flinch. But their face gives them away. If you've known your dog long enough, you'll feel it the moment it shifts. That soft stare across the room. That hesitation before eye contact. That's not shyness. That's a quiet plea. So watch his face. The angles, the stillness, the soul in his eyes. Because sometimes the pain you can't see in his walk or his bark is right there in the way he looks at you. But not all pain stays still. Some of it trembles. Some of it makes noise, faint, shaky, and easily missed. And that's what we'll uncover next. Number 6. Vocalization and trembling. You're in the next room. It's quiet until you hear it. A soft whine. A low groan. Maybe a sharp exhale that sounds almost like a whisper. You pause. Listen. But when you look, he's just lying there. Still. Watching you. So you chalk it up to a bad dream, or age, or nothing. But dogs don't vocalize without reason. Whining, trembling, or those little huffs you've never heard before, they're not background noise. They're signals. In fact, in a 2022 study published by the Journal of Veterinary Internal Medicine, dogs experiencing chronic pain were more likely to exhibit spontaneous vocalizations and body tremors, especially at rest when distractions are gone. You see, pain doesn't always flare when a dog moves. Sometimes it aches when he's trying to be still. And when that discomfort builds with nowhere to go, it escapes however it can through sound, through breath, through the smallest shiver. Trembling isn't just fear, and whining isn't just attention-seeking. They are the body's last gentle protest. If you've heard your dog make unfamiliar sounds late at night after walks during naps, don't ignore them. Record them. Let your vet hear what he can't say. Because sometimes pain doesn't bark or bite. Sometimes it hums under the skin. And while this kind of discomfort makes noise, the next kind doesn't make a sound at all. It settles in one spot. Quiet, focused, relentless. And your dog won't walk away from it, not even if it hurts. That's where we're going next. Number 7. Excessive licking and self-chewing. It always starts with one spot. A paw, a joint, the base of the tail. You see him licking it maybe once, maybe twice, and you think he's just cleaning himself. But then he keeps going. And going. Until there's no fur left. Just raw skin, maybe redness, maybe swelling. Sometimes he chews at it like he's trying to dig something out. But it's not dirt he's after. It's relief. Dogs don't obsess over one spot for no reason. When a dog fixates on a single area of his body, especially without an obvious wound, it's often because something underneath is screaming louder than his instincts can ignore. In a recent behavioral study out of the UK, chronic self-grooming, especially focused repetitive licking, was strongly linked to undiagnosed nerve pain or joint inflammation. And the heartbreaking part. Many dogs were misdiagnosed as anxious or neurotic when in fact they were just trying to soothe something deeper. This isn't just behavior, it's biology. A dog's tongue is the only tool he has to comfort a place that hurts. And if that place is inside the joint or under the skin, he'll keep going long after it helps. So don't wait until the fur is gone. Don't write it off as boredom. Because the pain that makes a dog turn on his own body is often the kind that's already been ignored too long. And where we're headed next, that pain doesn't stay in the body. It shows up in how your dog moves through the world or stops moving at all. Number 8. Changes in mobility and posture. You don't notice it right away. It's just one skipped stare, one slower rise off the floor, one stiff leg after a nap. You assume it's age, and maybe part of it is. But then he stops jumping up to greet you. He hesitates before climbing into the car. He walks different, not limping, not falling, just different. This is where pain hides best. In the small adjustments, the subtle shifts in how your dog moves. You won't always see a full limp, but you'll see hesitation, resistance, the calculation in his eyes before he stands. Because when it hurts to move, dogs don't tell you, they adapt. A study by the Cornell University Canine Health Center found that dogs with joint pain often avoid movement long before they show obvious signs. They compensate until they can't. Watch for the arched back, the tucked tail, the shortened gait. These aren't quirks, they're caution. And if you're seeing it now, chances are it's been building for a while. Don't wait for him to cry out. He won't. He'll just stop doing the things that used to make him feel free. And when that freedom fades, what follows is even harder to spot. Because it's not about stairs or steps, it's about sound. Or rather, the sounds that don't seem to bother you, but shake him to his core. That's where we're going next. And it might surprise you how loud silence can really be. Number 9. Sensitivity to sound. The vacuum turns on. He flinches. A drawer closes. He bolts from the room. Thunder rolls in the distance, and he disappears under the bed like the sky just cracked open. You've heard of noise sensitivity in dogs, fireworks, thunderstorms. But when it starts happening with everyday sounds, the fridge door, footsteps on tile, a car door outside, something deeper may be going on. Pain rewires the nervous system. It makes the world feel sharper, louder, more threatening. What used to be background noise now feels like an alarm. And dogs, being masters of suppression, won't show fear, they'll show avoidance. Trembling, wide eyes, holding their breath. A 2021 study in Frontiers in Veterinary Science found that dogs experiencing chronic discomfort were far more reactive to sudden sound stimuli. Not because of fear alone, but because the body already under stress has no tolerance left. So if your dog suddenly startles at what used to be nothing, don't assume it's nerves. Ask what's changed. Look closer. Because it's not just the sound that's different, it's him. And now that you've seen all 9 signs, you're starting to see the bigger picture. Each one alone is easy to miss. But together, they're a language, a message. And what you do next now that you understand what he's been trying to say might change everything. So let's talk about what comes after awareness action, the kind that makes a difference, right now. He never asked for much, just your company, a quiet spot by your feet, a glance that said, "We're okay." But now, maybe for the first time, he's been trying to ask for something more, without using a single word. You've seen the signs, one by one. A change in appetite, distance where there used to be closeness, restless nights, licking that never ends, eyes that don't shine like they used to. Not every dog will show all 9. Some may only show 1, but that one could be everything. So pay attention. Trust what you feel. You've known him longer than anyone else has, and if something feels off, it probably is. And if this video helped you see something you hadn't seen before, stay with us. Subscribe to the channel. Because your dog's story doesn't end here, and neither does yours. We'll be here helping you listen to the parts of your dog that don't have a voice, but speak straight to your heart.